Chapter 31 Return. You are listening at novelfull.audio. I'll be back in another hour, so I need to make some preparations in advance. Feeling the faint feeling of rejection from the blood spirit secret realm, Yang Feng opened his closed eyes and whispered softly. At this time, more than a month had passed since Yang Feng entered the caved Z pearl. During this period of more than a month, the tiger demon would fly over the caved Z bead every now and then, and with its powerful spiritual consciousness, it scanned the caved Z bead back and forth dozens of times. Under this situation, Yang Feng did not dare to leave the cave. Z bead. He could only hide in the caved Z bead and silently practice the dragon elephant skill to improve his physical strength. After more than months of hard training, Yang Feng's physical strength has reached the terrifying strength of 10 bulls, which directly exceeds the strength of a first-time Yin-Yang mirror monk. In other words, Yang Feng's physical strength has surpassed that of a monk who has just entered the Yin-Yang realm, and is comparable to a monk in the middle stage of the Yin-Yang realm. In addition, Yang Feng also selected some body training skills from the jade slips of skills left by Wei Yong, and practiced the attack methods and the body training skills. This allows Yang Feng to use the physical strength gained from practicing the dragon elephant kung fu, so as not to use all his strength but not know how to use it. After muttering, Yang Feng arranged the space ring in his hand and transferred a piece of blood spirit grass from the caved Z pearl to the space ring, preparing to hand it over to the sect. As a new outer disciple of Xuanhuan sect, Yang Feng has a very weak foundation in Xuanhuan sect. If he wants to obtain a higher position and better treatment, he must show his sincerity to the sect. Value. After all, there are so many disciples in Xuanhuan sect. How can a disciple with no background and no value be able to obtain a very high position and receive excellent treatment? Paying a huge amount of blood spirit grass to the sect allows the sect to refine a large amount of blood pills and enhance the sect's overall strength and influence. This is how Yang Feng shows his own value, gains the sect's attention, and obtains higher rewards. Way to get better treatment. When the feeling of rejection in the blood spirit secret realm became stronger and stronger, Yang Feng came out of the cave heaven pearl with a thought and put the cave heaven pearl into the sea of consciousness. At this time, an extremely strong repulsive force acted on Yang Feng, repelling him from the blood spirit secret realm. I'm back. I'm finally back. The secret realm of blood spirit is too dangerous. I almost died from the sharp claws of vicious beasts several times. Although the blood spirit secret realm is extremely dangerous, there are also a lot of blood spirit grass inside. As long as dies, you can usually pick Shao blood spirit grass. Every blood spirit grass is harvested by ferocious beasts. With my cultivation strength in the Gangqi realm, I can only defeat third-level ferocious beasts. Even if I pick dozens of years of blood spirit grass, not even a single-year-old blood spirit grass will be harvested. Picked. You are a disciple of the Gangqi realm. It is wrong to come back alive. You even want to pick the year blood spirit grass. You are completely overestimating your ability. That when Yang Feng's figure appeared on the top of the barren mountain, noisy discussions reached his ears, causing him to frown slightly and look around. All I could see was that around the top of the barren mountain, there were densely packed buildings of Xuanhuan sect, Ice God Palace, Divine Sword Villa, Puppet sect, and the outer disciples of the 5 sects of the Beast Control sect. At a glance, I could see all the edges. The number is extremely huge. There are quite a few people who have come back alive, and the blood spirit secret realm is also very dangerous. Looking at the dense crowd on the top of the mountain, Yang Feng murmured in his heart, found a deserted corner, sat cross-legged, and waited quietly. After a long time, a tall and handsome young man wearing Xuanhuan sect clothes, accompanied by Xuanhuan city lord Li Su, flew a silver battleship over the barren mountains and said in a calm tone, I am Li Wudi, the leader of Xuanhuan sect. My disciples of Xuanhuan sect must resist. Let the light of guidance guide you to the silver battleship. As he spoke, Li Wudi, the leader of the Xuanhuan sect, thought, and the silver light battleship released a stream of bright silver light, scattered on the bodies of Yang Feng and other Xuanhuan sect members, and connected Yang Feng and other Xuanhuan sect members to the silver light. On the battleship, afterwards, Li Wudi, the leader of the Xuanhuan sect, waved his hand, and a space passage appeared above the barren mountain. Immediately afterwards, the silver battleship entered the space channel and saw its trace. Are we back to Xiantian City? In the blink of an eye, we returned to Xiantian City. It's really shocking. The sect master is a super strong man in the void immortal realm. Is it normal to open a space passage leading to our Xiantian City? What's so surprising? Looking at Xiantian City below, the outer disciples of Xiantian sect on the Silver Light battleship exclaimed in surprise. Quiet. At this time, Li Su, the lord of Xiantian City, took a step forward and said in a loud voice. Li Su's loud voice instantly reached the ears of every outer disciple on the Silver Light battleship, causing everyone to immediately shut their mouths and dare not scream or comment anymore. Everyone lines up in 10 teams and turns in the blood spirit grass obtained in the blood spirit secret realm one by one. Everyone has to keep the blood spirit grass privately. Anyone who dares to hide the blood spirit grass will be killed without mercy. Zongmen will take your blood spirit grass for nothing. The blood spirit grass you turn in will be rewarded with the corresponding sect contribution value based on the quality of the blood spirit grass. Among them, 10-year-old blood spirit grass rewards 1 contribution point, 20-year-old blood spirit grass rewards 2 contribution points, 30-year-old blood spirit grass rewards 3 contribution points, and so on. 90-year-old blood spirit grass rewards 9 contribution points. 1-year-old blood spirit grass rewards 10,000 contribution points, 20-year-old blood spirit grass rewards 20,000 contribution points, and so on. 90-year-old blood spirit grass rewards 90,000 contribution points. 1,000-year-old blood spirit grass rewards 100,000 contribution points, 20,000-year-old blood spirit grass rewards 100,000 contribution points, and so on. The 9,000-year-old blood spirit grass will be rewarded with 900,000 contribution points. The 10,000-year-old blood spirit grass will be rewarded with 10 million contribution points, the 10,000-year-old blood spirit grass will be rewarded with 10 million contribution points, and so on. The 90,000-year-old blood spirit grass will be rewarded with 90 million contribution points. The blood spirit grass of 100,000 years and above will be directly rewarded with 1 billion contribution points and a low-grade Taoist weapon, and will enjoy the treatment of a true disciple, and the sect master will accept it as a registered disciple. After seeing Yang Feng and others quiet down, Li Su said in a calm tone. After speaking, Li Su waved his hand, and 10 inner disciples of Xiantian sect stepped forward, took a table and sat on the silver warship, waiting for Yang Feng and others to hand in the blood spirit grass. Seeing this, Yang Feng and others immediately lined up in 10 teams and handed in the blood spirit grass to the 10 inner disciples in turn. Chapter 32, Registered Disciple. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Li Han, 3,600 contribution points. Zhao Hu, 6,800 contribution points. Qi Wei, 8,100 contribution points. As a famous outer sect disciple handed over the blood spirit grass, the inner sect disciples responsible for registration kept revealing numbers one after another. The outer disciples who had paid the blood spirit grass quickly walked to Xiantian sect's side, took out their space equipment, released their restrictions, and allowed Li Wudi to inspect them. Li Qi, 800 and 628,600 contribution points. That when an inner disciple revealed Li Qi's contribution, many outer disciples on the Silver Light battleship cast their gazes on Li Qi, their eyes filled with envy and jealousy. Li Su, who was not far away, had a faint smile flashing in his eyes. He was quite satisfied with the harvest of Li Qi, a direct disciple of the family. Even Xiantian Zongzong Li Wudi couldn't help but glance at Li Qi, with a hint of admiration on his face, feeling the eyes of everyone, especially Li Wudi's. Li Qi's eyes flashed with excitement, and his face was full of joy and expectation. You are very good, you have not disgraced the Li family. After Li Wudi checked Li Qi's space ring, he reached out and patted Li Qi's shoulder, praising it softly. Li Qi, who was praised by Li Wudi, immediately said with excitement on his face, "Thank you for your great compliment." Seeing Li Qi's excited look, Li Wudi waved his hand gently and asked him to stand beside the Silver Light battleship and wait. Most of the outer disciples who followed had contributions ranging from thousands to Tens of thousands, even some of the outer disciples who were promoted to magic realm monks only had tens of thousands of contribution points, and the highest was only more than 3 million contribution points, which was less than half of Li Qi's. This made Li Wudi a little disappointed. A lot of blood spirit grass. Many hundreds and thousands of years of blood spirit grass. There is actually a 1,000-year-old blood spirit grass. I'm really shocked. Hell, 1,000-year blood spirit grass, is this something that outer disciples can pick? That when Yang Feng walked up to an inner disciple and took out more than 10,000 blood spirit grasses, the inner disciples and outer disciples on the Silver Light battleship couldn't help but exclaimed, their eyes full of shock and excitement. A look of disbelief. They really didn't expect that Yang Feng could actually produce so many blood spirit grasses, especially the 10,000 years blood spirit grass and the 10,000 years blood spirit grass. This completely stunned the inner disciples and outer disciples on the Silver Light battleship. In fact, not only these inner and outer disciples were suppressed, but also Xiantian City's Li Su and Xiantian Sect's Li Wudi were suppressed, and they all turned their attention to Yang Feng. In particular, Xiantian Zongzong Li Wudi opened his eyes wide and stared at Yang Feng closely. Countless rays of light flashed through his eyes, as if he wanted to see through Yang Feng. That's it. This outer disciple has such great luck. Li Wudi is the top expert in the void immortal realm. As soon as he is serious, he can see through Yang Feng's body in an instant. Yang Feng's cultivation strength, bloodline talent level, fire crow sword, Xianjin armor, and even the soul-suppressing bell in his mind were all discovered by Li Wudi. However, because the cave heaven bead is the treasure of the cave heaven and is hidden deep in Yang Feng's sea of consciousness, it was not discovered by Li Wudi. Yang Feng, 256-823, 600 contribution points. After a burst of exclamation, the inner disciple in front of Yang Feng quickly counted the blood spirit grass handed over by Yang Feng, shouted loudly with his whole body trembling, and looked at Yang Feng with eyes full of shock and admiration. More than 256 million contribution points. This is too much. It's too much, it's simply too much. More than 256 million contribution points, this is too scary. Many true disciples don't have so many contribution points. We are both outer disciples, why is Yang Feng so outstanding? Hearing the number reported by the inner disciple, the outer disciples on the Silver Light battleship couldn't help but exclaimed, their eyes filled with envy, admiration, and awe. More than 256 million contribution points. This is a number that many outer disciples cannot be jealous of, and it is a number that many outer disciples are filled with awe of. Good. Very good. Very good. From today on, you are my registered disciple, Li Wudi. As long as you reach the Golden Elixir realm, I will accept you as my direct disciple. That when many outer disciples exclaimed, Li Wudi couldn't help but praise loudly. Thank you for your great compliment. Yang Feng walked quickly to Li Wudi, said in a respectful tone, and moved to release the restrictions of the space ring, allowing Li Wudi to inspect. When Li Wudi discovered Yang Feng's space ring and found a large number of treasures, as well as a large number of jade slips containing martial arts, alchemy, weapon refining, and talisman making, he took a deep look at Yang Feng and said. Yang Feng turned in a 10,000 years blood spirit grass and was rewarded with a low-grade Taoist weapon, the Suzaku sword, and enjoyed the treatment of a true disciple. After speaking, Li Wudi thought about it, and the Suzaku sword, a low-grade Taoist weapon that exuded infinite flame power and was engraved with countless flame formations, flew out of the world inside his body and floated above the silver battleship. Immediately afterwards, a Suzaku phantom shot out from the Suzaku sword and floated above the silver battleship. A terrifying power emanated from the Suzaku phantom, causing many inner and outer disciples on the Silver Light battleship to change their faces and sit on the ground helplessly. At this time, Li Wudi moved his mind, and a terrifying law power surged from his body, covering the Suzaku phantom, causing the Suzaku phantom to quickly restrain its momentum and stop releasing infinite fire power. Xiao Ke, from today on, you will follow my disciple Yang Feng. Seeing the reaction of the Suzaku phantom, Li Wudi said indifferently. Yes, master. As soon as Li Wudi finished speaking, the Suzaku phantom responded respectfully. After that, the the Suzaku phantom turned into a stream of light and did not hit the Suzaku's sword. The vermilion bird sword quickly flew in front of Yang Feng, and with a light stroke, it cut Yang Feng's palm, causing his blood to drip onto the vermilion bird sword. Recognizing the vermilion bird sword, then, the vermilion bird sword turned into a stream of light and hit Yang Feng's sea of consciousness. What a huge sea of consciousness! This has infinite potential. Seeing Yang Feng's vast sea of consciousness, which was thousands of times greater than that of cultivators of the same level, the vermilion bird sword spirit exclaimed, and was not so resistant to recognizing Yang Feng, a cultivator of the mana realm. Thank you, Master Zong, for your reward. Feeling the terrifying power emanating from the vermilion bird sword in the sea of consciousness, especially the terrifying power of the law of fire contained in the vermilion bird sword, Yang Feng's eyes flashed with excitement, and he thanked Li Wuti with an excited face. With the lower-grade Taoist Suzaku sword, Yang Feng has a personal bodyguard in the realm of law. How could this not make Yang Feng very surprised and excited? At the same time, with Li Wuti as a master, those cave realm masters dare not snatch Yang Feng's Suzaku sword, because it is not worth it. Some lawless law realm casual cultivators, even if they want to snatch the Suzaku sword, may not be able to beat the Suzaku sword. With the lower-grade Taoist Suzaku sword as a bodyguard, and Li Wuti, a master in the realm of virtual immortals, as a backer, Yang Feng will not die as long as he is not dead, and this is the reason why Yang Feng took out a lot of blood spirit grass and contributed it to the sect. After all, Yang Feng has a lot of blood spirit grass, and it is of no use to keep it all. It is far better to hand it over to the sect to obtain the sect's protection and support. Chapter 33 Vulcan Peak. You are listening at novelfull.audio. You outer disciples who have been promoted to monks in the Dharma realm from the blood spirit secret realm can be exempted from the assessment tasks and directly promoted to the inner disciples. Now, come with me to the House of Internal Affairs to go through the procedures for becoming a disciple of the inner disciple. After all the outer disciples turned over the blood spirit grass on their bodies, Li Wuti said to the 36 outer disciples including Yang Feng and Li Qi. After saying that, Li Wuti waved his hand, rolled up Yang Feng, Li Qi and others, turned into a stream of light, and flew towards the Xiantian mountains in the distance. Soon, Li Wuti took Yang Feng, Li Qi and others to fly tens of thousands of miles to the top of a huge mountain that was cut in half. He pointed at a huge palace below and said, "The Palace of Internal Affairs is below. You can go there yourself. Go through the procedures for your inner disciple." After saying that, Li Wuti waved his hand and threw Yang Feng, Li Qi and others away from the door of the Internal Affairs Hall, and then turned into a stream of light and flew deep into the Xiantian mountains. Come on, let's go in and be promoted to inner disciple. After taking a look at the Palace of Internal Affairs sign above his head, Yang Feng chuckled and took the lead in entering the Palace of Internal Affairs. Li Qi and others followed closely behind Yang Feng and entered the Internal Affairs Hall with excitement and anticipation on their faces. I am Wang Bin, the deputy head of the House of Internal Affairs. Who among you is Yang Feng? As soon as Yang Feng and others entered the depths of the Internal Affairs Hall, an old man in brocade clothes asked Yang Feng and others with a smile on his face. Master Wang, I am Yang Feng. Yang Feng took a step forward and responded loudly. Yang Feng, you come with me. Others go to our deacon of the House of Internal Affairs to go through the procedures for promotion to the inner disciple. As soon as Yang Feng finished speaking, Wang Bin smiled slightly. After saying that, Wang Bin took Yang Feng and walked deep into the Internal Affairs Hall. Li Qi and other brothers looked at Yang Feng with envy and walked towards the deacon of the House of Internal Affairs in the distance. Soon, Wang Bin took Yang Feng to a spacious and bright living room deep in the Internal Affairs Hall, and took the initiative to pour Yang Feng a cup of hot tea. After chatting casually for a while, he said softly, Yang Feng, according to the instructions of the sect master, although you are an inner disciple, you enjoy the treatment of a true disciple. This is a welfare item, you can take a look. After saying that, Wang Bin took a large golden box from the space ring and placed it in front of Yang Feng. Yang Feng opened the big golden box and scanned the items inside with his spiritual consciousness: 2 sets of inner disciple clothing, an inner disciple token, a low-grade flying sword, the first 10 levels of Shantian Ju and Shantian Sword Technique Jade Slips, some auxiliary intermediate talismans, a bottle of level method pill, and a picture of the Shantian Mountains. That's right, no problem. After looking at the items in the big golden box, Yang Feng nodded slightly. There is an introduction to the true disciples in the sect manual, which includes the benefits of the true disciples. Therefore, Yang Feng could see at a glance that he had no shortage of welfare items. Yang Feng, every true disciple can choose a peak in our Shantian Mountains as a place of cultivation. You can choose a mountain as your place of practice. Hearing Yang Feng's words, Wang Bin smiled slightly and waved his hand. A virtual picture of the Shantian Mountains appeared in front of Yang Feng. Countless introductions about each mountain peak also appeared clearly on the picture, allowing Yang Feng to but I have a clear understanding of the various peaks of the Shantian Mountains. Yang Feng looked at the huge Shantian Mountains map in front of him, immediately raised his spirits, let go of his consciousness, and observed carefully. The mountain peak of True Brother, before True Brother died, has always been owned by True Brother. It is the home of True Brother Shantian sect, and he needs to live there for a long, long time. Therefore, when every true disciple chooses a mountain peak, he will be very careful and conscientious, and dare not make the slightest mistake. After all, once the true disciple has selected a mountain peak, it cannot be modified. If the true disciple chooses a mountain that is barely close to the peak, he will need to spend a lot of time, energy, and resources to transform the mountain and make it powerful, full of aura, and become a saint of cultivation. After a long time, Yang Feng pointed to a peak within the Shantian Mountains and said, "This is the peak." After taking a look at the mountain peak Yang Feng chose, Wang Bin smiled slightly and said, "Your vision is wrong, you chose a good mountain peak. Although the location of this mountain peak is relatively remote, the fire aura on it is extremely rich, and there is a fire vein of excellent quality underneath. It is a training saint for monks who practice fire attribute skills. It is extremely wise and appropriate for you to choose this mountain as a place to practice. Now that you have made your choice, give this mountain a name. Let's call this peak the Vulcan Peak." Yang Feng thought for a moment and then said softly, "Vulcan Peak. You want to become the god of fire and control the avenue of flames. That's right, you are ambitious." After hearing Yang Feng's words, Wang Bin gave Yang Feng a thumbs up and praised loudly. After praising him, Wang Bin said to Yang Feng, "The sect will carry out preliminary renovation of Vulcan Peak. We will build some palaces on it, arrange some large formations, open up some spiritual fields, plant some spiritual herbs and elixirs, and cultivate some monster beasts. And equip you with some slaves, so that you can use them directly after you live in them. It will take about 3 months to renovate Vulcan Peak, so you can go home to visit your family and have a good rest during these 3 months." Hearing Wang Bin's words, Yang Feng nodded gently and said, "Thank you for your reminder, Lord Wang. I'm going to go home and see my parents at home. There are 4 brothers in our Yang family in Xuanhuan City. For the chores of our Shantian sect, do you know that you can transfer the 4 brothers of the Yang family to Vulcan Peak as chores?" "Of course." Wang Bin responded with a smile. After getting Wang Bin's affirmative answer, Yang Feng chatted with him casually for a while, and then got up and left the Internal Affairs Hall. Afterwards, Yang Feng took out the map of Shantian Mountains from the space ring, quickly browsed through it, and then took out the Fire Crow Sword, a low-grade treasure, stepped on the Fire Crow Sword, turned into a stream of light, and flew towards the direction of the Merit Hall. The Merit Hall is located in the outer area of Shantian Mountains. It is too far away from Shantian City. It is only more than 10,000 miles away. It is the place where Shantian sect disciples use the sect contribution points to exchange various cultivation materials. Before Yang Feng was going home to visit his relatives, he exchanged a batch of cultivation materials at the Merit Hall to speed up his cultivation. At the same time, Yang Feng was also going to exchange a batch of cultivation resources from the Merit Hall and give them to the Yang family in Xuanhuan City as his return to the family. Window, _tabula equals window, _tabula. Push, mode, thumbs, feed, 01, container, tabula, below, article, thumbnail, 300x250, placement, below article. Thumbnail, 300 by 250 foot, target_type, mix. Chapter 34, Hall of Merit and Gratitude. You are listening at novelfull.audio. I want to use my sect contribution points to exchange for some items. Can you give me an exchange form? Yang Feng said to the Deacon of the Hall of Merit. The Deacon of the Hall of Merit glanced at Yang Feng, responded softly, took out a jade slip from the counter, and handed it to Yang Feng. Thanks. Yang Feng thanked him, took the jade slip, let go of his consciousness, and read it carefully. There are so many items on the exchange table, so densely packed that there are hundreds of thousands of items. Among them, there are jade slips of various exercises and martial arts, refining weapons and making talismans, magical weapons, spiritual weapons, treasures, and even Taoist weapons and other various levels of weapons and equipment, Jing-Yuan, Ling-Yuan, broken mirror, Fa and other medicines, as well as countless other items. After quickly browsing the exchange table, Yang Feng said with emotion, Xiantian's sect is worthy of being one of the 5 major forces in Xiantian territory, and it is indeed rich and powerful. After feeling a sigh of relief in his heart, Yang Feng's mind began to work rapidly and he began to think about what items he needed to exchange for. After all, although more than 1,256 million contribution points are a lot, they are not even a fraction of a high-grade Taoist artifact. I would like to exchange 100,000 bottles of Jinyuan, 10,000 bottles of Lingyuan, 1,000 bottles of magic from the 1st level to the 7th level, and 10 bottles of broken mirror. There are 10,000 Qingfeng swords, quasi-grade instruments, 1,000 low-grade instruments, 1,000 medium-grade instruments, 100 high-grade instruments, and 100 top-grade instruments. 50 low-grade spiritual weapons, 20 medium-grade spiritual weapons, 10 high-grade spiritual weapons, top-grade spiritual weapons, and 5 million low-grade spiritual stones. After Yang Feng thought for a while, he said to the Deacon of the Hall of Merit. A total of 1.255 billion contribution points, that the Deacon of the Hall of Merit quickly calculated, looked at Yang Feng with a look of surprise and said. The Deacon of the Hall of Merit had serious suspicions that Yang Feng was using himself. However, before Yang Feng could make any contribution points, the Deacon of the Hall of Merit, although very suspicious, dared to taunt Yang Feng at will. Okay. Yang Feng responded softly and handed over his identity token. Seeing Yang Feng's actions, the Deacon of the Hall of Merit took over Yang Feng's identity token with some suspicion and swiped it on a special device on the counter. Drop. Accompanied by a crisp prompt, the sect contribution points of 1.255 million were successfully deducted, which shocked the Deacon of Nanning Merit Hall. He quickly handed it to Yang Feng respectfully and said, Junior Brother Yang, please wait a moment. I'll get you the items you exchanged. After saying that, the Deacon of the Hall of Merit quickly turned around and entered a secret room behind him. Afterwards, the Deacon of the Hall of Merit handed a space ring to Yang Feng and said, Junior Brother Yang, please count the items you exchanged. If it is confirmed, please put your fingerprint on the instrument. Yang Feng took the space ring, scanned it with his consciousness, and found that the items inside were just right. He nodded, pressed a fingerprint on the counter instrument, then turned and walked out of the Hall of Merit. My dear. A mere monk in the magic realm actually contributed 1.25 billion sect points. It's really amazing. Looking at Yang Feng's leaving figure, the Deacon of the Merit Hall exclaimed softly involuntarily, and firmly remembered Yang Feng's appearance in his heart. After leaving the Hall of Merit, Yang Feng used his sword control skills and stepped on the Fire Crow sword to Xiantian City, where he found Zhao Hai, the elder of the outer sect. Yang Feng, have you been accepted as a named brother by the sect leader? When he saw Yang Feng, Zhao Hai immediately went up to him and asked with excitement on his face. Well, I was accepted as a named brother by the sect leader. This is the best spiritual weapon I have given you. Please accept it, Elder Zhao. Yang Feng nodded gently, took out a top-quality spiritual weapon from the space ring, and handed it to Zhao Hai. Dao. Yang Feng has clear grievances. Zhao Hai brought Yang Feng to Xiantian's sect and gave Yang Feng a space ring, which was of great help to Yang Feng. Therefore, after gaining his ability, Yang Feng gave Zhao Hai a top-quality spiritual weapon to repay his kindness. Yang Feng, I know that you are talented and have endless potential, and you will become a great person in the future. But I didn't expect that you would rise so quickly. In just a few months, you have been promoted to a Mana Realm monk, become the inner disciple of our Xuanhuan sect, and have been accepted as a named disciple by the sect master. This is completely beyond my imagination and makes me feel very incredible. But no matter what, I am sincerely happy for you. I hope you can make brave progress in the future and become a supreme immortal. You will enjoy immortal blessings forever and live as long as heaven. As for this top-quality spiritual weapon, I accepted it shamelessly. After hearing Yang Feng's words and seeing the top-grade spiritual weapon that exuded bright spiritual light in his hand, Zhao Hai's eyes flashed with excitement and he immediately responded loudly. After saying that, Zhao Hai took the top-quality spiritual weapon from Yang Feng and reached out to touch it, his face full of excitement. Zhao Hai is only an ordinary outer elder of Xuanhuan sect, and the best weapon in his hand is only a high-grade spiritual weapon. Being able to possess a top-quality spiritual weapon is a very exciting thing for Zhao Hai and something worthy of celebration. Old Zhao, congratulations. The old man in white clothes on the side congratulated Zhao Hai with an envious look on his face. Elder Wang, I have always remembered the kindness you gave me when you gave me a talisman. Please accept this inferior spiritual sword as a token of my appreciation. Hearing the words of the old man in white, Yang Feng immediately took out an inferior spiritual sword from his space ring and handed it to the old man in white. Then I will accept it. Hearing Yang Feng's words, the old man in white had a flash of excitement in his eyes, and hurriedly took the inferior spiritual weapon from Yang Feng. Although the old man in white also had a few inferior spiritual weapons in his hand, the value of inferior spiritual weapons was extremely high, and no one would dislike having too many inferior spiritual weapons in their hands. Seeing the old man in white's actions, Yang Feng smiled slightly, exchanged a few simple words with Zhao Hai, and then moved, soared into the air, and flew towards the direction of the west courtyard of Xuanhuan city. Old Zhao, you've made a fortune this time, you must treat us. Old Zhao, if you want to treat us, you must treat us at Qingxiang Pavilion. That's right. Old Zhao must treat us at Qingxiang Pavilion. It's a top-grade spiritual weapon. Old Zhao is really lucky. It's a top-grade spiritual weapon, but compared with our friendship with Yang Feng, it's totally worth mentioning. That's right. Yang Feng is the peerless genius of our Xuanhuan sect, and he is also the nominal disciple of the sect master. The future disciple has a bright future, and will become a great man in the future. If Yang Feng leaks a little bit through his fingers, Lao Zhao will be fooled to death. Lao Zhao's luck is too good. He actually invested in a peerless genius with infinite potential. One day, Lao Zhao must be slaughtered. As soon as Yang Feng left, many Xuanhuan sect elders in the courtyard surrounded Zhao Hai and said with envy and jealousy on their faces. Chapter 35 Yang Family Crisis. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In the reception hall of the Yang family in Xuanhuan City, dressed in commoner clothes and with a head full of white hair, Ong Lin, the ancestor of the Yang family, sat upright on the throne. Yang Hao, the head of the Yang family, and the Gangqi realm elder of the Yang family were sitting on both sides of the reception hall. A handsome young man wearing the attire of an inner disciple of Xinjian Villa, with a long sword hanging from his waist, slowly walked into the Yang family's reception hall, and casually glanced at Yang Lin, the ancestor of the Yang family, who was in charge, with an arrogant expression on his face. Said, I, Wang Lai, an inner disciple of Xinjian Villa, see that your Yang family has their ancestral land, and I hope that your Yang family can sell it to me. Young Master Wang, hundreds of thousands of Yang family members live in our Yang family's ancestral land, and our Yang family's ancestors are buried there. We, the Yang family, cannot sell our ancestral land to you. Yang Lin, the ancestor of the Yang family, who was sitting in the main seat, gently shook his head and refused firmly. Yang Lin, I'm here to inform you today, but I won't come to discuss it with you. Your Yang family's ancestral land must be sold to me. If you know each other, you can get 10 million gold coins as compensation. If you don't know each other, maybe the Yang family in Xuanhuan City will be killed by bandits, your clan will be exterminated, and it will directly become the dust of history. As soon as Yang Lin finished his voice, Wang Lai said in a cold tone, and a strong murderous intention emanated from his body. Young Master Wang, our Xuanhuan city is under the jurisdiction of the Xian sect, and the city is under the jurisdiction of your divine sword villa. Aren't you afraid of being punished by the Xian sect if you travel so arrogantly? Listening to Wang Lai's murderous words, Yang Lin's eyes flashed with anger, and he suppressed the anger in his heart and asked loudly. Xuanzong punishment? Are you kidding me? The Xuanzong Association will affect the life and death of your little Yang family. Also, do you think that if a disciple of your Yang family worships the Xian sect and becomes an outer disciple of the Xian sect, then the Xian sect will have the opportunity to protect your Yang family and give you the head of the Yang family? To tell you the truth, there are hundreds of thousands of disciples in the outer sect of Xuan sect, but the status of the inner sect of Xuan sect is very low. Don't talk about the family of the outer disciples. Even if the outer disciples die, the Xuan sect will not be concerned, let alone avenge the outer disciples. As long as my hands and feet are clean and I don't destroy all of your Yang family openly, Xuanzong will not care about the life and death of your Yang family. So, you, the Yang family, had better sell your ancestral land to me honestly, otherwise don't blame me, Wang Lai, for being cruel. Listening to Yang Lin's questioning, Wang Lai retorted with disdain on his face. Our Yang family is not intimidated. If you have the ability, just wipe out our entire Yang family. That's right, our Yang family would rather die in battle than sell our ancestral land to you. Just give up on this idea. Our Yang family will never sell our ancestral land. You say it better than singing it. If you don't take care of Xuanzong, why come here to threaten our Yang family? Wouldn't it be better to just kill our Yang family? Let me tell you, our Yang family is a disciple of the Xian sect. Although we are only an outer disciple of the Xian sect, our talents are outstanding. It won't take long to be promoted to an inner disciple or even a true disciple. If you dare to attack our Yang family, that disciple of our Yang family will definitely destroy your Wang Laiman family in the future and avenge our Yang family. Our Yang family can develop to its current scale. Generation after generation, our Yang family has been fighting with each sword. If you have the ability, just come, and our Yang family will take over. Hearing Wang Lai's arrogant words, the elders of the Yang family sitting on both sides of the living room stood up one after another, their faces full of resentment, and they yelled loudly, with a cold light in their eyes. If they knew they were inferior to others, these Yang parents would have taken action long ago and killed Wang Lai, an arrogant and domineering guy, on the spot. Do you guys want to die? Hearing the scolding voice of the Yang family elder, Wang Lai's eyes flashed fiercely, and his tone was cold and threatening. As he spoke, Wang Lai's whole body was surging with Dharma. Waves of powerful Dharma rippled out from his body and spread around. The expressions of the Yang Jia Gang Qi realm elders on both sides of the living room changed greatly, and they hurriedly inspiring the strong energy in the body to resist the pressure of Wang Lai's momentum. That's enough. Mr. Wang, our Yang family's ancestral land will not be sold, please take it back. Feeling the pressure of Wang Lai's momentum, Ong Lin, who was sitting in the main position, flashed a fierce light in his eyes and shouted loudly. As he spoke, a terrifying wave of magic emitted from Yang Lin's body, blocking Wang Lai's majestic pressure. Yang Lin, your Yang family has made a wrong choice and is waiting to be exterminated. Feeling the pressure of Yang Lin's body, Wang Lai's eyes flashed fiercely, he glared at Yang Lin fiercely, then turned around and walked out. Yang Hao, what did the city lord say? After Wang Lai left, Yang Lin sat on the throne and asked Yang Hao, the head of the Yang family. Ancestor, the lord of the city suggested that our Yang family sell our ancestral land to Wang Lai. According to the report from our Yang family spies, Wang Lai lives in the city lord's mansion. Obviously, the city lord has colluded with Wang Lai. Our Yang family wants to rely on the city lord to deal with Wang Lai, but it's impossible, Yang Hao said with a bitter look on his face. The ancestral land of the Yang family and our Yang family roots must not be sold to Wang Lai. However, Wang Lai's threat must be guarded against. Yang Hao, you immediately select our elite disciples of the Yang family, send elite guards, and send them, along with Yang Feng's parents, to Xianxian City to find Yang Feng. With Yang Feng, these disciples of the Yang family who have entered Xianxian City can get shelter and are not afraid of the threat of Wang Lai, a disciple of the Divine Sword Villa. After listening to Yang Hao's words, Yang Lin thought for a while and said softly, "Ancestor." Yang Hao responded respectfully, got up and left the reception hall. Other Yang family elders also stood up and walked outside the reception hall. Soon, an elite disciple and elite guard of the Yang family were called together. Countless gold, silver, fine pills, Jingyuan Dan, Lingyuan Dan and other precious elixirs were also gathered by the Yang family. At the same time, a group of elite Yang family guards went to the small courtyard where Yang Feng's parents lived, preparing to escort Yang Feng's parents away. "Father, mother, where are you going?" Yang Feng, who had just returned home, looked at Yang De and Zhao Xia with large and small bags ready for the door. A look of surprise flashed in his eyes, and he asked involuntarily, "Xiao Feng, don't you practice in the Xuan sect? Why did you suddenly come back?" Looking at Yang Feng who suddenly appeared at the door, Yang De did not answer Yang Feng's question, but opened it on his own initiative and asked, "Father, my Xian sect has been promoted to an inner sect disciple. The sect has given me 3 months of family leave. I will come back to see how old you two are." Yang Feng responded softly, "Xiao Feng, you have been promoted to an inner disciple of the Xian sect. You should not be afraid of the threats from the inner disciples of Xinjian Villa." After hearing Yang Feng's words, Yang De's eyes lit up and he asked with expectation, "Father, are there disciples from the inner sect of Xinjian Villa threatening you?" As soon as Yang De's voice finished, Yang Feng's face changed slightly, a fierce light flashed in his eyes, and he asked softly, "Window_Tabula equals window_Tabula_Tabula. Push, mode, thumbs, feed, 01, container, tabula, below, article, thumbnail, 300x250, placement, below article thumbnail, 300x250, target_type, mix." Chapter 36 Killing at the Door. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Wang Lai, the inner disciple of Xinjian Villa, wants to buy the ancestor of our Yang family with 10 million gold coins. If our Yang family sells it, he will destroy the whole Yang family of the sect. Wang Lai, an inner disciple of Xinjian Villa, is so brave. Yang Feng looked at Yang Hao, the head of the Yang family, and asked with a look of shock. Yang Feng really didn't expect that Wang Lai would be so arrogant and dare to threaten to destroy the Yang family in Xuanhuan City within the Xiantian sect sphere of influence. You know, this is a serious provocation to Xiantian sect, not to mention that Wang Lai is just an inner disciple of Xinjian Villa. Even if Wang Lai is the true disciple of Xinjian Villa, he will be directly suppressed and killed by the powerful Xiantian sect. Well, Wang Lai did say that. According to our Yang family's investigation, Wang Lai has been colluding with the city lord's mansion. If our Yang family is destroyed, it is very likely that the city lord's palace will blame the bandits and bandits. The Xiantian sect will definitely investigate deeply. At the same time, according to the speculation of our Yang family, there is a probability that there will be someone behind Wang Lai. Of course, with Wang Lai alone, the city lord's palace can cooperate with him. Yang Hao said helplessly. "I understand. I will go to the city lord's mansion to find Wang Lai now and ask him face to face who gave him the courage to threaten to destroy our entire Yang family." After hearing Yang Hao's words, Yang Feng's eyes flashed fiercely and he said in a cold tone. After saying that, Yang Feng stood up and walked outside the Yang family courtyard. "Yang Feng, let me go with you." Seeing Yang Feng's actions, Yang Lin, the ancestor of the Yang family, stood up and said. After that, Yang Feng and Yang Lin jumped into the sky and flew towards the city lord's mansion. "Wang Lai, get out of here." After Yang Feng flew near the city lord's mansion, he immediately mobilized the magic power in his body and shouted in a loud voice. The loud voice spread throughout an area of dozens of miles around, attracting the attention of countless people. "Is that Yang Lin, the ancestor of the Yang family? Why did he go to the city lord's mansion? Is the man next to Yang Lin Yang Feng who worships Xiantian sect? Yang Feng seems to have been a true Qi realm warrior a few months ago. Worry. In the past few months, Yang Feng has become a monk in the magic realm. His talent is too good. Are you talking nonsense? Yang Feng's talent is so good, can he worship the Xiantian sect? Looking at Yang Feng's murderous look, does he want to provoke the city lord? Looking at Yang Lin and Yang Feng in the sky, the pedestrians and warriors nearby started talking, their eyes flashing with anticipation. Yang Feng, is it too rude or impolite for you to call me by my name like this? At this time, Wang Lai flew out from the city lord's palace, looking at Yang Feng with a look of joy and said, Wang Lai is very depressed now. He really didn't expect that Yang Feng would become a Mana Realm monk and be promoted to the inner disciple of Xiantian sect. Wang Lai, the outer disciple of Xiantian sect, is here to find someone to kill him secretly, but Wang Lai, the inner disciple of Xiantian sect, had no way to deal with him. The good will make Wang Lai stumble. This was also the reason why Wang Lai had a headache and was depressed. Rude? Impolite? For a despicable and shameless person like you, you need to be polite. Tell me, who asked you to buy our young family ancestor? Speak out and I will spare your life, but at most I will destroy your cultivation, he said. I will directly destroy you, and then use secret techniques to interrogate you, making your life feel like death. Yang Feng said with an evil look on his face, his tone full of cold murderous intent. Destroy me? Do you have the ability? For the sake of Xiantian sect, I want to be polite to you, but you dare to threaten me. You are simply seeking death. I will give you a good lesson for Xiantian sect and let you know that there is heaven outside the world and there are people outside the world. Hearing Yang Feng's cold words, Wang Lai was filled with murderous intent. With a cold snort, he mobilized the magic power in his body, activated a high-grade magic weapon long sword, and stabbed Yang Feng's body. You dare to betray me, you are looking for death. Facing the attack from Wang Lai's high-grade magic weapon, Yang Feng roared angrily, summoned the magic power in his body, activated the high-grade treasure weapon Fire Crow Sword, and faced it, bang. In the midst of a crisp sound, the high-grade treasure Fire Crow Sword collided with Wang Lai's high-grade magic weapon. The terrifying power exploded instantly, directly cutting off the high-grade magic weapon. Immediately afterwards, the Fire Crow Sword, a top-grade treasure weapon, struck directly at Wang Lai's body with terrifying power. A treasured weapon. Seeing how terrifying the Fire Crow Sword was, and feeling the strong aura emitted by the Fire Crow Sword, Wang Lai's expression changed, and he exclaimed involuntarily. In the exclamation, Wang Lai quickly took out a defensive weapon in an attempt to resist the attack of the Fire Crow Sword. However, the defensive weapon that Wang Lai offered could not hold on for even a second, and was instantly destroyed by the Fire Crow Sword. Ah! 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 At this time, the Fire Crow Sword, with its sharp edge, cut off Wang Lai's arms, causing them to make shrill and tragic sounds. Stay! When Yang Feng was about to use the Fire Crow Sword to cut off Wang Lieda's legs, a loud voice came from the city lord's palace. An old man in gorgeous clothes soared from the city lord's palace and flew towards Wang Lai, trying to save Wang Lai. However, before the old man could get close to Wang Lai's legs were cut off by the Fire Crow Sword, and his body was tied up with a flaming rope and pulled to Yang Feng's side. Yang Feng, you hurt people's lives for no reason in broad daylight, in full view of the public. Do you still have the law in your eyes? Seeing this scene, the old man in Chinese clothes flashed a fierce light in his eyes, and scolded with an angry look on his face. When Wang Lieqiang bought the ancestor of our Yang family and threatened to destroy our entire Yang family, how could you say Wang's method? Our Yang family asked you for help, hoping that you would mediate and protect the safety of our Yang family. However, you suggested that our Yang family compromise and sell the Yang family at a low price. How can you say Wang Fa? Now, I'm going to kill Wang Lai, and you stand up and tell me the king's law. Do you think it's funny for you to do this? Let me tell you, in Xuanhuan city, what I, Yang Feng, say is Wang Fa. You, the so-called lord of Xuanhuan city, are nothing but a waste, a despicable and shameless bastard who deserves death. Yang Feng looked at the old man in colorful clothes in the distance, and Yang Feng scolded him with a murderous look on his face. Yang Feng, you are lawless. I must report it to the kingdom and let the king suppress you. Hearing Yang Feng's words, the gorgeous old man was furious. He resisted the urge to move and shouted in a cold tone. You don't have that chance. Everyone who plots against our young family deserves to die. Go to hell. Looking at the gorgeous old man with a scowl on his face, Yang Feng snorted coldly, the mana surged in his body, and the fire crow sword instantly glowed, turning into a stream of red light. In the frightened eyes of the gorgeous old man, it easily penetrated the head of the gorgeous old man, making it blood-splattered, and he died tragically on the spot. Window_tabula equals window_tabula_tabula.push, mode, thumbs, feed, 01, container, tabula, below, article, thumbnail, 300x250, placement, below article thumbnail, 300x250, target_type, mix. Chapter 37 Killing a Heavenly Realm Monk. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Yang Feng actually killed the city lord, this is too shocking. Yang Feng killed the city lord, is he afraid of the punishment of the kingdom? Yang Feng actually killed the city lord in seconds, his strength is too strong. With Yang Feng, the Yang family will rise. Yang Feng is an inner disciple of Shantian sect. How dare the kingdom punish Yang Feng? Seeing Yang Feng kill the city lord of Xuanhuan city, the people and warriors nearby changed their faces and exclaimed involuntarily, especially some of the senior leaders of some big families, their faces changed wildly, and countless thoughts surged in their minds. Ancestor, let's go! Ignoring the exclamations of the people and warriors nearby, Yang Feng called out to Yang Lin, then mobilized the mana in his body, rolled up Wang Lai, and flew towards the Yang family compound. Soon, Yang Feng returned to the Yang family compound and took Wang Lai into a secret room of the Yang family. Who asked you to buy the ancestral land of our Yang family? Yang Junqing asked Wang Lai in a cold tone. It was Sun Quan, the inner disciple of our Shenzhen villa, who asked you to buy the ancestral land of the Yang family. Sun Quan currently lives in Qinghe Manor, more than a mile away from Xuanhuan city. If you have the ability, go and find Sun Quan to argue. Wang Lai responded in a flat tone. After that, Wang Lai urged the remaining magic power in his body, shattered his heart veins, and lost the breath of life. Sun Quan can instruct Wang Lai to buy our Yang family's ancestral land, so his own strength must be stronger than Wang Lai. However, even if Sun Quan is stronger than Wang Lai, his strength is limited. At most, he is a cultivator in the supernatural realm, maybe a cultivator in the golden elixir realm. The current combat power is already comparable to that of a cultivator in the divine realm. Under the condition of using the inferior Taoist weapon Suzaku's sword, he can even fight against a cultivator in the law realm. Therefore, Sun Quan is unlikely to pose a threat to you. You can go directly to Qinghe Manor to kill him. Looking at Wang Lai's body, Yang Feng had countless thoughts in his mind, and finally decided to go to Qinghe Manor to kill Sun Quan, the mastermind behind the scenes. After making a decision in his heart, Yang Feng's mind moved, and he condensed a hot flame, threw it on Wang Lai's body, and burned it into ashes scattered on the ground of the secret room. Then, Yang Feng came out of the secret room. Yang Feng, how is it? Have you found out who is behind the purchase of our Yang family's ancestral land? Seeing Yang Feng coming out of the secret room, Ong Lin, the ancestor of the Yang family, immediately stepped forward and asked with a worried look on his face. Ancestor, the mastermind behind the scenes is just a clown, not to be feared, you don't have to worry. Take care of your parents, and kill the clown behind the scenes, and completely eliminate the hidden dangers of our Yang family. Yang Feng responded softly, and then soared into the air, turned into a stream of light, and flew towards Qinghe Manor. Soon, Yang Feng flew out of Xuanhuan city and came to the sky above Qinghe Manor, and released his spiritual sense to scan Qinghe Manor, looking for Sun Quan's figure. Yang Feng, you actually came to Qinghe Manor, you are so timid. At this time, a loud voice came from the depths of Qinghe Manor. A young man in brocade clothes flew out from the depths of Qinghe Manor and hovered in the air, looking at Yang Feng from a few meters away. A cultivator in the heavenly realm, looking at the young man in brocade clothes a few meters away, feeling the aura of the heavenly realm on him, young Feng whispered softly, while muttering, young Feng was completely relieved. A mere cultivator in the heavenly realm, young Feng could easily kill him and could not pose any threat to him. That's right. He is Xuanhuan, a cultivator of the heavenly realm and an inner disciple of the divine sword Villa. Since you have come here, I will not hide it. Your young family's ancestral land has a black iron or vein worth tens of millions of spiritual power, so I want to buy your young family's ancestral land at a low price and make a huge profit from it. But I really didn't expect that you would be promoted to an inner disciple of the Xuanhuan sect in just a few months, and have the powerful strength to kill cultivators of the same level, which changed my plan. Now, I will give you two choices. One is that we sign a contract to jointly mine the black iron or veins in your young family's ancestral land. The profits will be divided into 70% and 70% for you. One is to kill you and return to Xinjiang Villa to hide for 8 years. When the storm is over, I will come out again to kill all the members of your young family and monopolize the black iron or veins. You have one stick of incense to consider. If you can't make a choice within one stick of incense, then I will assume that you have chosen the second one and directly come out to kill you. Hearing young Feng's muttering, Xuanhuan said with a smile on his face, looking confident, for Xuanhuan, there is no reason for him to fail. A mere mana realm cultivator, no matter how talented he is, may not cross two major realms to block the attack of himself. A late heavenly realm cultivator, in Xuanhuan's opinion, he only needed one strike to easily kill young Feng. The reason why young Feng was given a chance to choose was that killing an inner disciple of Xuanhuan's sect would have a negative impact on him, causing him to be targeted by Xuanhuan's sect and even hunted down with a bounty. If possible, Xuanhuan would rather lose some spiritual energy than be hunted down by Xuanhuan's sect for killing young Feng and be forced to hide in Xinjiang Villa and unable to go out. Of course, the most important thing is that after killing young Feng, Xuanhuan will not be able to mine the Xuanhuan mine in the young family's ancestral land for a long time and will not be able to obtain spiritual benefits from it. Don't think about it, choose the first option, that is to kill you. Hearing Xuanhuan's words and seeing his confident and self-confident look, Yang Feng's eyes flashed with a fierce light and said in a cold tone, after speaking, Yang Feng took out the lower-grade treasure Fire Crow Sword, and encouraged the mana in his body to infuse it into the Fire Crow Sword, making it aura, releasing hot fire crows, forming a fire crow formation, and bombarding Xuanhuan's body. The Fire Crow Sword, a low-grade treasure. Seeing the Fire Crow Sword in Yang Feng's hand and feeling the terrifying power contained in the Fire Crow array, Xuanhuan's face changed drastically and he exclaimed involuntarily. Amidst the exclamation, Xuanhuan hurriedly mobilized the mana in his body and poured it into a defensive spiritual weapon, blocking it in front of him, trying to resist the attack of the Fire Crow array. However, the power of the Fire Crow array was extremely terrifying. Just after bombarding the defensive spiritual weapon, the terrifying explosive force directly destroyed the defensive spiritual weapon, turning it into countless fragments, splashing around. Immediately afterwards, the remaining power of the Fire Crow array bombarded Xuanhuan's body, and in his horrified eyes, it killed him on the spot, turning him into countless bloody and fleshy fragments, scattering downwards. At this time, young Feng waved his hand, and a stream of magic power came out of his body, rolled up Xuanhuan's space ring, and sent it into his palm. After that, Yang Feng released his spiritual sense and scanned Qinghe Villa carefully. After finding that there were only some servants and guards inside, and no cultivators were there, he moved his body and turned into a stream of light, returning to the Yang family compound. Chapter 38 Parents Awaken Blood Talent. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 38 Mother awakens blood talent. That I and the Yang family compound, in a spacious and bright conference room, Yang Lin, the ancestor of the Yang family, sat on the main seat, and Yang Feng, Yang Hao and the elders of the Yang family sat on both sides of Yang Lin. Ancestor, head of the family, elders, the crisis of our Yang family has been resolved, you don't have to worry. As for the fact that I killed the lord of Xuanhuan city in public, you don't have to worry even more. Even if the king has 10 courage, he dare not do anything to me. There are 10,000 bottles of Xuanhuan Dan and 3 bottles of Lingyuan Dan in this space ring. 3 quasi-magic instruments Qing Feng sword, 3 low-grade magic instruments, 1 medium-grade magic instrument, 50 high-grade magic instruments, 20 top-grade magic instruments, and low-grade Lingyuan Dan. 10 spiritual instruments, 5 medium-grade spiritual instruments, and 3 high-grade spiritual instruments. 12 jade slips for practicing the Golden Core realm, 150 jade slips for various magic and magical powers, 3 jade slips for alchemy, 3 jade slips for refining instruments, and 3 jade slips for making talismans. These elixirs, weapons, and jade slips are my little gift to the family. Please accept them, and enhance the strength, combat effectiveness, and heritage of our Yang family. Yang Feng took out a space ring from his arms and handed it to Yang Hao, the head of the Yang family. Hearing Yang Feng's words and watching Yang Feng's actions, the elders of the Yang family in the meeting room all had their eyes lit up, and their faces showed excitement and surprise. They didn't expect that Yang Feng not only promoted to a cultivator in the mana realm and became an inner disciple of Xiantian's sect, but also had so many cultivation resources such as elixirs and weapons in his hands, and gave them to the family. This shocked them, but also made them very excited. They secretly felt proud of the fact that the family had such an excellent disciple as Yang Feng. Yang Feng, will your gift of so many cultivation resources to the family affect your cultivation? That at this time, Ong Lin, the ancestor of the Yang family, who was sitting on the main seat, waved his hand to stop Yang Hao from taking the space ring, and asked Yang Feng with a serious look on his face. Ancestor, don't worry. I know that these cultivation resources given to the family will not affect my cultivation. Hearing Yang Lin's words, a warm current surged from Yang Feng's heart, and he responded with a smile. After getting Yang Feng's affirmative answer, Yang Lin waved his hand and let Yang Hao take the space ring. After that, Yang Lin pondered for a while and said, Yang Feng, you are now the registered disciple of the master of Xiantian's sect, enjoying the treatment of a true disciple and owning an independent mountain. You have to practice by yourself and have no time to take care of the miscellaneous matters of the mountain. I am going to select a group of elite disciples from the Yang family to go to your mountain with you to help you deal with the miscellaneous matters of the mountain, so that you can practice with peace of mind. Of course, I just help you select some people from the Yang family. The people who will go to the mountain in the end are up to you to decide. After hearing Yang Lin's words, Yang Feng responded without hesitation, Ancestor, as the saying goes, brothers fight tigers together, and soldiers go into battle together. Even if you don't say it, I will also select a group of outstanding disciples from our Yang family to go to Xiantian's sect with me to practice, and help me deal with some miscellaneous matters by the way. After getting Yang Feng's affirmative answer, Yang Lin showed a happy smile on his face and began to discuss the details with Yang Feng. After the meeting with the family elders, Yang Feng left the Yang family compound and returned to the small courtyard where his mother lived. Xiao Feng, has the crisis of our Yang family been resolved? Seeing Yang Feng coming back, Yang De immediately went to meet him and asked with a worried look on his face. Dear, the crisis of our Yang family has been resolved. At the same time, from now on, no one should dare to threaten our Yang family. Yang Feng responded with a smile. That's good. That's good. After getting Yang Feng's affirmative answer, Yang De secretly breathed a sigh of relief, and the worry on his face also dissipated. My dear, my mother, your current strength is too weak. You must practice hard and strive to be promoted to a true Qi realm warrior, or even a mana realm cultivator, and have a long life. Otherwise, in the future, my son will become an extremely powerful person, and you will die because your lifespan is exhausted. Isn't it very ugly? Seeing that Yang De had relaxed, Yang Feng said to Yang De and Zhao Xia with a serious face, Yang Feng has a deep affection for his mother and does not want to live forever, but his mother only has a lifespan of 10 years, therefore, Yang Feng hopes that his mother will practice hard, achieve a higher realm, and have a long life. Xiao Feng, your mother and I are not unwilling to practice, but our cultivation qualifications are not very good. We have been stuck in the body refining realm and cannot break through the bottleneck of the body refining realm, give birth to true Qi, and become a true Qi realm warrior. After hearing Yang Feng's words, Yang De responded with some helplessness. Dear, I have 2 spiritual herbs here. You and my mother each take one. Swallow them. After hearing Yang Da's words, Yang Feng was well prepared. With a slight smile, he took out 2 10-year-old blood spiritual herbs from the cave bead and handed them to Yang Da and Zhao Xia respectively. Yang Da and Zhao Xia trusted their sons completely. Without any hesitation, they immediately took the 10-year-old blood spiritual herbs and swallowed them. As the 10-year-old blood spiritual herbs were swallowed, Yang Da and Zhao Xia successively gave birth to intermediate fire attribute bloodline talents and intermediate wind attribute bloodline talents. At the same time, when the bloodline talents were born, Yang Da and Zhao Xia easily broke through the bottleneck of the body refining realm and were promoted to the true Qi realm warriors. Their bodies were transformed and their lifespans were increased by 2 years. Seeing this, Yang Feng showed a satisfied smile on his face, and immediately selected a basic fire attribute technique and a basic wind attribute technique from the Dongxianzu, and gave them to Yang Da and Zhao Xia for practice. As for advanced techniques such as the fire god technique, they need to wait until Yang Da and Zhao Xia practice the mana realm before they can be taught to them. Of course, as Yang Feng's father and mother, Yang Da and Zhao Xia each received a space ring filled with various practice resources, which allowed them not to worry about the problem of practice resources before practicing the mana realm. Time passed quickly like flowing water, and in the blink of an eye, 3 days had passed. In the past 3 days, under the guidance of Yang Feng, Yang Da and Zhao Xia successfully studied the basic practice techniques thoroughly, practiced them step by step, while Yang Feng silently practiced the fire god technique and Xiantian sword technique. He quietly waited for the reaction of the kingdom of flame. Master Feng, the envoy of the kingdom has arrived. The master of the family invites you to the reception room. A servant of the Yang family came quickly to the outside of Yang Feng's practice room and reported loudly. I know, you go back first, I will be there soon. Yang Feng responded casually, silently turned the half-circle fire god Zhuyun for a circle, then stood up and left the practice room, and flew towards the Yang family compound. Chapter 39 The King shows goodwill and advances to Yin-Yang realm. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Emissary, this is our Yang family's Qilin child Yang Feng. When Yang Feng came to the Yang family's reception room, Ong Lin, the ancestor of the Yang family, smiled and introduced to an old man in a golden robe. Mr. Feng, I am the worshipper of the worship pavilion of the Flame Kingdom and the envoy of the Flame Kingdom, Qin Ming. I am very happy to meet you. The old man in the golden robe looked at Yang Feng, who walked slowly into the reception room, and immediately stood up from his seat and took the initiative to greet him. Qin Gongsheng, I don't like to beat around the bush. If you have anything to do in our Yang family, just say it directly. Yang Feng nodded to the old man in the golden robe Qin Ming, then walked to a seat and sat down, saying in a calm tone. Master Feng, I came to the Yang family on behalf of the Flame Kingdom this time for a total of 3 things. The first thing is that we on behalf of the Flame Kingdom apologize for the unfair treatment that the Yang family suffered before. In order to express our Flame Kingdom's apology, our Flame Kingdom has ordered that all the family members of the Lord of Xuanhuan City be demoted to slaves and sent to the Yang family for disposal, to work as slaves for the Yang family to make up for some of the losses of the Yang family. The first thing is that our Flame Kingdom confers Mr. Yang Da as the Marquis of the Kingdom and gives Mr. Yang Da all the land within a radius of Xuanhuan City as Mr. Yang Da's private territory. The first thing is that our Flame Kingdom invites Master Feng to attend the 100th birthday banquet of the King of our Flame Kingdom to be held in a month. Hearing Yang Feng's words, Qin Ming immediately stated his purpose without any hesitation. I accept the good intention of the kingdom. I will attend the 20th birthday banquet of the kingdom on time. As soon as Qin Ming finished speaking, Yang Feng knew that the king of the Flame Kingdom was showing goodwill to him and wanted to win him over, so he smiled slightly. After all, the Yang family of Xuanhuan City is in the territory of the Flame Kingdom. It is not good for the Yang family to break up with the king of the Flame Kingdom. Besides, the king of the Flame Kingdom is sincere enough, and Yang Feng does not need to break up with the king of the Flame Kingdom. After getting Yang Feng's affirmative answer, Qin Ming showed a happy smile on his face, and immediately took out a copy of the imperial edict that canonized Yang Da as a marquis from the space ring and handed it to Yang Feng. Yang Feng took the imperial edict, glanced at it casually, and put it on the coffee table next to him, and chatted with Qin Ming. After getting some information about the Flame Kingdom's capital, Flame City, from Qin Ming, Yang Feng picked up the imperial edict on the coffee table and left early. Afterwards, Yang Feng handed the imperial edict conferring Yang De as a marquis to Yang De, and then entered the Yang family's practice room to practice in seclusion, not asking about external affairs. Ding! You practiced the fire god art once, and the effect of practice was returned 10,000 times, and you increased 10,000 strands of mana. When Yang Feng ran the fire god art once and condensed a strand of mana in his sea of consciousness, a crisp reminder sounded in his ears. 10,000 strands of mana appeared out of thin air in Yang Feng's sea of consciousness, greatly increasing the mana reserves in his sea of consciousness. The concentration of spiritual energy in Xuanhuan City is too low. The time required to condense a strand of mana is more than 10 times that of Xiantian sect. The effectiveness is too low. Hearing the crisp prompt sound and feeling the increased mana in his sea of consciousness, Yang Feng frowned slightly, muttered softly, and took out a bottle of first-level magic pills from the space ring, poured out one pill, and swallowed it. The magic pill contains rich and easy-to-refine pure energy, which can save the cultivator's time in refining the spiritual energy of heaven and earth. It is the best choice for cultivators to quickly increase their mana. The magic pill depends on the amount of energy it contains and the level of the cultivator it is suitable for. Divided into first level to seventh level magic pills, among them, the first level magic pill is mainly suitable for the mana realm cultivators, increasing the mana of the mana realm cultivators. The seventh level magic pill is suitable for the Yin-Yang mirror cultivators, increasing the mana of the Yin-Yang mirror cultivators. By analogy, the seventh level magic pill is suitable for the Yuanshan realm cultivators, increasing the mana of the Yuanshan realm cultivators. As a first level magic pill is swallowed, a stream of pure energy emanates from it, and Yang Feng easily refines it into strands of mana by running the fire god technique. Ding! You practiced the fire god technique once, and the effect of practice is returned 10,000 times, and you have increased 10,000 strands of mana. Ding! You practiced the fire god technique once, and the effect of practice is returned 10,000 times, and you have increased 10,000 strands of mana. At this time, a series of crisp prompts kept ringing in Yang Feng's ears, causing him to frown slightly and turn off the prompts directly. The sea of consciousness is already full of mana, and it is time to break through the bottleneck of the mana realm and be promoted to Yin-Yang mirror. A month later, Yang Feng felt the surging mana in the sea of consciousness, muttered softly, and began to break through the bottleneck of the mana realm. Soon, Yang Feng broke through the bottleneck of the mana realm and was promoted to a Yin-Yang mirror monk. At this time, the surging mana in Yang Feng's sea of consciousness underwent a major change. The mana that filled the entire sea of consciousness was rapidly compressed and reduced, and finally less than 1/10 of the original. However, this 1/10 of mana has become more tenacious and powerful, with a little more spirituality, and more powerful than before. Fire Snake. Feeling the change of the magic power in his sea of consciousness, Yang Feng shouted softly, and a stream of pure magic power penetrated his body and condensed into fire snakes about a foot long. These fire snakes are very spiritual and can move freely in the training room without Yang Feng's spiritual control. When Yang Feng's mind moves, these fire snakes will automatically attack the target according to Yang Feng's mind. The biggest difference between the Yin-Yang realm and the mana realm cultivators lies in the spirituality of the mana. The mana condensed by the mana realm cultivators has no spirituality and needs to be controlled by the mana realm cultivators with their spiritual consciousness. To perform any magic spell, it consumes a lot of spiritual power. And the mana condensed by the Yin-Yang mirror cultivators has extremely strong spirituality and requires very little spiritual consciousness from the cultivators, or even no spiritual consciousness from the cultivators, to attack the enemy autonomously, and the power is even more powerful. After observing the state of the fire snake, Yang Feng muttered a few words softly, and continued to explore the application of the Yin-Yang mirror for magic spells. Soon, half a month passed. During this half-month, Yang Feng was thoroughly familiar with the application of the Yin-Yang mirror for magic spells, and his comprehensive strength and combat effectiveness soared. At that time, after Yang Feng took a large amount of magic pills, the mana in his sea of consciousness increased rapidly, covering 1/10 of his sea of consciousness, and the mana reserves far exceeded those of a high-level cultivator. It's almost time, it's time to set off and go to Flame City to attend the 20th birthday banquet of the King of Flame Kingdom. Feeling the surging mana in his sea of consciousness, Yang Feng muttered softly and left the practice room. Afterwards, Yang Feng had a meal with his parents, learned about their recent situation, and then took off into the air, turned into a stream of light, and flew towards Flame City, the capital of Flame Kingdom. Chapter 40 Wei Family Bloodline. You are listening at novelfull.audio. There are still 10 days left for the King's 100th birthday banquet. I can take a walk in the Flame City first and then go to the palace to rest. Yang Feng looked at the majestic Liyan City in the distance, murmured softly, landed in a jungle outside Liyan City, and walked quickly towards Liyan City. When Yang Feng arrived near the east gate of Liyan City, a blood bead in the cave ZB trembled violently. A piece of information was released from the blood bead and entered Yang Feng's mind. There is blood of the Wei family around here. Feeling the message from the blood bead, Yang Feng's eyes flashed with surprise, and he couldn't help but exclaim softly, "You know, Wei Yong was a casual cultivator in the cave heaven realm more than 100,000 years ago. In more than 100,000 years, 99% of the Wei family where Wei Yong lived should have been cut off. However, the Wei family where Wei Yong belongs not only has not cut off their bloodline, but is still in charge of Liyan City, which makes Yang Feng very surprised. However, although he was surprised, because he had promised Wei Yong and made the Heart Demon Oath, Yang Feng had to find the Wei family, check the current situation of the Wei family, and help the Wei family become a secular family. Enjoy the glory and wealth. While turning his head, Yang Feng walked towards the east gate of Liyan City according to the induction of blood beads. When Yang Feng arrived at the east gate of Liyan City, famous merchants and caravans were entering and leaving the east gate, making it very lively and lively. In an open space on the side of the East City Gate, a large number of farmers wearing robes and ordinary people gathered. These farmers occupy open spaces at will, placing various vegetables they grow on the ground, woven bamboo baskets, bamboo mats, bamboo chairs, straw sandals and other items for sale to earn money and subsidize their families. And those ordinary people in ordinary clothes choose the items they need from street stalls and buy them at prices lower than those in shops in the city. Among them, a woman with dozens of pairs of straw sandals in front of her immediately caught Yang Feng's attention. That blood disciple of the Wei family, looking at the girl who was shouting hard but getting no attention, Yang Feng's eyes lit up and he murmured softly. In the midst of the muttering, Yang Feng walked slowly towards the girl's side. At this time, a young man wearing brocade clothes, accompanied by a servant and 2 guards, came out of the East City Gate and looked towards the trading area on the side of the East City Gate. When the young man in genie glanced at the girl, his eyes lit up instantly, and he immediately led his servants and guards and walked quickly towards the girl's side. "Master, do you want to buy straw sandals?" Seeing the young man in brocade clothes in front of her, the girl asked with expectation. "Beauty, you are so beautiful. Selling straw sandals here is too wasteful. Why don't you come home with me and be my concubine? As long as you serve me well, I will not only let you wear gold and silver, but also let you live a life of fine clothes and fine food. You will no longer have to buy straw sandals here." The young man in brocade opened his eyes wide, stared at the girl closely, and said in a seductive voice, "Master, I will not be your concubine. Please get out of the way and don't delay me buying straw sandals." Hearing the words of the young man in genie, the girl shook her head and said in a cold tone, "Beauty, my young master is the eldest son of the Zhao family firm. My young master likes you. You are so lucky. You are provoking our Zhao family firm by rejecting my eldest brother. By provoking our Zhao family trading company, is provoking the law of our Liang kingdom, and is seeking death. If you don't want to die, just listen to our young master's words honestly and become our young master's concubine, where you can live well and drink hot food. Otherwise, when our young master gets angry, all your family will die, and their bodies will be thrown into a mass grave to feed the dogs." As soon as the girl finished her voice, the servant of the young man in brocade stepped forward and threatened loudly and viciously, hearing the threatening voice of the young servant and genie, the faces of farmers and urban residents near the girl changed drastically and they hurriedly hid away, fearing that they would be targeted by the young man and genie. And suffer an unreasonable disaster, when the girl heard the threat from the servant of the young man and genie, and saw the evasive movements of the farmers and people around her, a look of despair and stubbornness flashed in her eyes. She raised her face, stared at the young man and genie, and said every word. "This young master, I am just an ordinary commoner. I don't want to be your concubine. Please don't force me, okay? I'm going to force you, what can you do to me? Tell you, I like you, you are so lucky. Today, you must come with me, otherwise I will kill your whole family, give you to the police, and then sell you to a brothel to receive customers." Looking at the girl's stubborn and pretty face, a look of excitement flashed in the eyes of the young man in brocade, and he threatened with an arrogant look on his face. Hearing the arrogant threats from the young man in genie, a look of determination flashed in the girl's eyes. She quickly pulled out a sharp dagger from her arms and stabbed the young man in genie's chest. The girl was just an ordinary girl. The sharp dagger in her hand had just come close to the young man in genie's chest. The young man in genie stretched out 2 fingers and pinched it. He could not move in, let alone attack the young man in genie. Causes a little bit of damage. Beauty, you have a very strong temper. However, I like to tame a fierce horse like you. A fierce horse like you is the most exciting to play with. Looking at the desperate girl, the young man in brocade clothes said with excitement. In broad daylight, you robbed a girl from a decent family. Do you still have the law in your eyes? At this time, a loud voice came from not far away, which made the young man in brocade clothes turn his head involuntarily and look at the source of the voice. Boy, I advise you not to meddle in other people's business, otherwise this day next year will be your death anniversary. Looking at young Feng who was approaching slowly, the young man in brocade clothes had a fierce light in his eyes and threatened with a fierce face. Are you threatening me? I don't like others threatening me the most. Whoever dares to threaten me, I will kill him, even kill his whole family. You threaten me now, do you want me to kill your whole family? Looking at the young man in brocade clothes with a fierce face, young Feng said in a calm tone. Boy, you're looking for death. Go ahead, kill him. Seeing Yang Feng's look of wanting to defeat him, the young man in brocade clothes flashed a fierce light in his eyes and shouted an order. Then, the 2 young guards in brocade clothes drew out their long swords, stirred up the internal energy, poured it into the long swords, and chopped towards the place where Yang Feng was. Suddenly, 2 rays of energy with terrifying power shot out from the 2 long swords, carrying terrifying power and sharp edges, and chopped down towards Yang Feng's body, as if they wanted to chop Yang Junqing into several pieces.